What if I told you that the secret to a country's future could be found in a fisherman's bait box? It sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, today we're taking a trip down the incredible Mekong River, where that's exactly what's happening. We're going to see how ancient local knowledge is completely reshaping the way we think about development, policy, and even survival. Let's dive in. So this is it, the Mekong. They call it the mother of waters, and for good reason. I mean, this isn't just a river. It's the absolute lifeblood for something like 70 million people across 6 different countries. It's everything: food, a highway for transport, and it's woven right into the cultural identity of everyone who lives along its banks. And the life in the river, it's just staggering. Get this, the Mekong is the second most biodiverse river on the entire planet. We're talking about more than 1,300 known species of fish. It's a world of giants and wonders under the surface, a true global treasure. For the millions who call this place home, the river is what's known as a living larder. Think about that, a giant breathing pantry that's always there. Fishing isn't just a job, it's woven into the very fabric of life. And this isn't just random luck, it's a precise science, passed down for generations. Okay, now check this out. This table shows just how deep that knowledge goes. It's not just about throwing a line in the water. These fishers know that if you want a pingeous catfish, you use earthworms, but only in the dry season. For a giant snakehead, you need small frogs during the wet season when the forests are flooded. This is a complex ecological calendar, lived and breathed every single day. So while all this incredible local wisdom is happening down on the water, there's a huge shift happening in the world of policy and management, a totally new way of thinking that looks way beyond just the number of fish in the river. And this slide just nails the difference. The old way of thinking was all about one thing: fish production. The main question was, how many fish can we get out of the river? But the new view, it asks a totally different and maybe more important question. How can we support the people who depend on this river and help lift them out of poverty? It's a huge shift from managing a thing to supporting people. And look, this isn't just some idea in a textbook. Real organizations like the Mekong River Commission are right at the heart of this change. They're bringing together countries like Cambodia, Lao PDR, Thailand, and Vietnam to figure out how to manage their shared mother of waters in this new way. They're essentially trying to learn a new language for development. And that new language is built around this big idea called the livelihoods approach. Now I know, it sounds a bit jargony, but stick with me because it's a really powerful way of looking at the world. So what does it actually mean? Well, the livelihoods approach flips the script. It puts people, not the resource, but the people right at the center of the conversation. It's all about really, truly understanding their whole situation, what they have, what they're up against, and what makes them vulnerable. But here's the thing, the words we use really matter. It's kind of like what Humpty Dumpty says here. For this new approach to actually work, everyone involved, from the official in the capital city to the fisher in the village, has to be speaking the same language. They have to agree on what improving a livelihood really means on the ground. So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, for starters, it means all planning begins with what people actually need. It means you look at the entire system, the insects, the riverbank plants, the flood cycles, not just the fish you can sell. It's about listening to everybody and recognizing that for a family, aquatic resources might mean snails and edible plants just as much as it means a big catfish. And this is where our whole story comes full circle. We're going to connect that high-level policy language right back to the simple, brilliant wisdom of that local fisher. Because that's the real question, isn't it? All this talk about a livelihoods approach and vulnerability, what does any of that actually mean to someone who's just trying to cast a net and feed their family?
It means this. It means getting out of the air-conditioned offices and into the boats, into the homes of the people you're supposed to be helping. It means you stop seeing the river as a spreadsheet of data and start seeing it for what it is, their partner in survival.
And boom, here's how it connects. It's so simple and so brilliant. Okay, step 1. A fisher knows that using frogs as bait is the best way to catch snakeheads when the forests flood. Step 2. A livelihoods analysis sees that and says, aha, this is a successful local strategy for using seasonal resources. So step 3. Effective policy doesn't ignore that. It protects it. Maybe it means creating rules to protect those flooded forests where the frogs and the snakeheads both thrive. the bait in the box becomes the data for good policy. It's amazing.
So, why is this shift in thinking so urgent? Why does it matter so much right now? Well, it's because the Mother of Waters is facing some really, really big threats.
You know, the Mekong is an ecosystem under enormous pressure. You've got massive dams upstream that are messing with the ancient flood cycles that the whole ecosystem depends on. You've got overfishing, pollution, and on top of all of that, climate change is threatening to rewrite the rules completely. The old way of doing things just isn't going to cut it anymore. And that's the bottom line. This people-centered livelihoods approach isn't just a nicer, more compassionate way of making policy. At this point, it's an essential survival strategy. That deep, resilient, local knowledge is honestly one of the most powerful tools we have to make sure both the river and its people have a future. And really, that leaves us with this huge question. The story of the Mekong is, in a way, the story of our whole planet. With all the complex challenges we're facing, how do we build a future that isn't just informed by, but is actually guided by, the kind of wisdom that has worked for centuries? It's something we all need to think about.